I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-magob, it's time for the only news that matters. And nearly a year and a half after Twisted Sister's one-off on-stage reunion at the Metal Hall of Fame in California. Jeez, it's been a year and a half already? My God, man, we're all gonna die! This time is going by too quick. Anyway, Dee Snider was asked by the Hook Rocks podcast if he and the rest of the band would consider coming back together for special performances. The singer said, as a result of all bands retiring and dying, the offer gets bigger and bigger for the holdouts to come back. And we retired in 2016, I think it was. So we're on 8 years now and not playing, with no intention of coming back. But my father, he says, everything before the word but is bullshit. But at some point, you gotta say, well, how can I say no to that? Is it there yet? No. Is it getting close? Yeah. Is there talks among us like, well, in the event that the numbers do get there, and they sure as hell seem to be going in that direction, how are we going to do this? So there's a little bit of that conversation. And that's both physically, how we're going to do it, and on the numbers of other levels. And that's a recent occurrence, that the conversation has gone from never to the event that it makes an offer we can't refuse. What's the plan? And there's some very general discussions on that, involving personal trainers, diets, hair extensions. And that's the first time in 8 years that the conversation has changed. So there you go. Twisted Sister is going to be the next band that's going to go back on their farewell tour bullshit. Well, this one I don't really... I'll go see it because their farewell tour had nothing to do with Florida. And Twisted Sister is in my top 5 greatest live bands. I know some of you may laugh at that, but whatever. Laugh all you want. I've been to thousands and thousands of shows. And I gotta tell you, Twisted Sister is in the top 5. As far as live, the energy that band had live on stage every single time was insane. Yeah, it was just... Dee Snider to me is up there, man. As one of the greatest frontmen ever. I modeled myself after. He was such an influence on me when I would perform live. I never ever thought what I was going to say like Dee Snider. Dee Snider just goes for the spontaneous shit. And I got so off on his stuff. I want to tell you a little funny story of when I saw the Stay Hungry tour. I'm all the way up front, right? And they go into Burning Hell. And, you know, welcome to the band. And that whole spiel that Dee Snider's doing, he's like, literally like a foot away from me. And when he goes down, 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 and before he says it, I yell it, "You're gonna burn in hell!" And he looked at me. Then he pointed at me and he said, "That's my line, asshole." And then he pointed at me again. He said, "You're gonna burn in hell." That was fucking awesome. I'm telling you, man, Dee Snider is the shit. I absolutely love him. I mean, as far as like how he's become on social media the past couple years, he totally sucks. I hate like his whole, trying to like, I don't know. He just talks a lot of garbage. And it's not just the politics too, but he does talk. He seems to be like going senile or something. But I would love to see Twisted Sister get back together. Are you kidding me? That would be amazing. Come to Florida. You can continue your farewell tour. Come to Florida. Since you didn't come down here for the farewell tour, I'm all for bring back the tours for the sick motherfucking Twisted Sister. And that's what I am. I am an SMF for life, man. Because Dee Snider and Rick Emmett, and there's a few more, wrote songs that helped me so much in my adolescence, in my crazy youth. You know, songs like I Am, I'm Me from Twisted Sister and SMF and Fight the Good Fight from Triumph. You know, it gave me this attitude. It was just so positive and killer that, you know, yeah, I'm going to go for it. Nobody's going to stop me. I'm a sick motherfucker and I'm proud of it, you know? And seriously, Dee Snider and Rick Emmett, man, were both extremely important in my youth, how I got through life, man. Music is life to me, man. It means everything to me. Here I am pushing 60 years old. I'm going to be 60 freaking next year. I'm going to be 60 years old. And I'm just as passionate for music as I was as a little kid. I can't say that for the guys I grew up with. I mean, some, you know, they're into music here and there, you know, but not like me that's out there hunting for new bands, going on YouTube, just, you know, because it's just my soul is music, man. Music means everything to me. If it wasn't for music, I would kill you. And I love me Twisted Sister music. I mean, well, come on. Let me rank the albums. I can do this real quick without writing anything down, all right? The worst Twisted Sister album, in my opinion, was Love Is for Suckers. Though it did have Wake Up the Sleeping Giant. I liked Hot Love. I liked the title track. And I like Yeah Right. The rest of that album, crap. Next, I'll say Come Out and Play. Because Come Out and Play had one of the most kick-ass Twisted Sister songs ever. And that is The Fire Still Burns. That song rules, and that's why it's not at the bottom, because it contains that song. But it also contains another song called Kill or Be Killed that I loved a lot. And the title track, Come Out and Play. I dug those songs. The rest, crap. All right, then I'll go with Stay Hungry. I love Stay Hungry. I love it. Yeah, we're not going to take it. Never really was a huge fan of it, but I love the fact that it made them huge, because at the time, I got into Twisted Sister during You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. So, you know, when Stay Hungry came out, I was already a fan. So I was very, very happy to see them blow up with that, and I Wanna Rock, and they became a huge band, you know, and I saw them headlining with Y&T and Doc in opening. That was the night where Dee told, you know, pointed at me, "You're gonna burn it now." It was at that show. And yeah, Stay Hungry, which my favorite song off Stay Hungry is a deep track, but it's one of my favorite Twisted Sister songs, is The Beast. That song rules, and Don't Let Me Down is another killer deep track. I love that album. All right, number 2, I'm going to go with Under the Blade, man. Love it. Probably their heaviest album with the title track and Destroyer. And I love how Dee Snider introduced Destroyer live. He said, "This is not the heaviest song ever, but it's damn close." Love that. And yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on that album, man. Shoot 'Em Down, Tear It Loose. Oh, there's just too much shit on there that I love. But it's not my favorite album. My favorite Twisted Sister album has to be You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. It's the album I bought. I remember seeing that little commercial on MTV. MTV had a little commercial that was a clip of the music video for You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. I remember vividly seeing that before I saw the video, and I thought it was so cool. And then I saw the video, and I ran out and bought that album. I absolutely love that album, and they weren't big yet, but the next album, they blew up, and I had this thing back then. Every time I got into bands before they blew up, and there's a lot of examples, like, you know, I was into Metallica before they blew up. You know, even before Kill 'Em All, I was into Metallica. Def Leppard, before Pyromania, all these bands. It wasn't until 1985 there was one band I thought, okay, this is the next band that's going to be big, because I predicted every band up to 1985 when I predicted Loudness would be big with Thunder in the East, and it wasn't. And then from there on out, I kept failing, thinking all these bands are going to be big. And then there were bands I thought were never going to be big that became huge, like King Diamond, Merciful Fate. I mean, I remember listening to that stuff in the 80s thinking, these guys will never be big. And I was blown away when MTV played Family Ghost and had King Diamond as a host at the time. And then the Abigail tour came down here. I got to see that. And oh my God, great times, man. Anyway, so yeah, Twisted Sister. I hope they get back together, man. I don't care. You know, but rest in peace, AJ Perro. They're probably not going to get Mike Portnoy because he's in Dream Theater. But we'll see. Whatever happens, I hope it comes to South Florida. If it doesn't come to South Florida, then screw it. And screw all you people that don't live in South Florida. I don't care if they get back together and play your hometown. I don't care because I'm not going to be there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching The Only News That Matters. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't and ring that little notification bell. I would totally appreciate that. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a cob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.